So, so happy Friday, and Jasmine's in the real Hawaii, and I'm in the pretend Hawaii. But so the funny story this morning was, I was like, well, okay, I'm sure they're getting tired of seeing the same shirts. I have a million of these, but I wear the same ones over and over, which I've told you before. Like, I have like it's like my favorites, and then when I get a new one, somebody from the favorites drops into the not so favorites, and then they just are banned to the back of the closet. So and then eventually, I do finally get rid of them, but some of them I'm just like, emotionally attached to and everything. So this morning I'm like, I have to get something new because I'm sure they're just sick of the same old ones, and I'm sick of the same old ones. And so I opened the other side of the closet, which I don't go to very often, and somebody was in there. Can you guess who? My little kamikaze. So she's the little one. She's tiny. And I have been wondering for 2 weeks. I know she had a new spot. And I've been looking everywhere for the new spot. Under the beds, under the couches. She's tiny, so she could get anywhere. Well, I know where she is now. So what she does, like, I have one of the closets that has a sliding door. I used to have one that you walked into. Now I just have a sliding door. But on the one side, I usually keep the door. I don't close it all the way. I keep it, I just kind of close it and I leave it. I'm the only one in there, so I don't close it all the way. Well, anyway, there's the door to the room backs up against the second door to the closet, so I had to open, I never go back there, so I closed the door to the room and I slide that other closet side, and there she is, sitting on top of a blanket looking all surprised because she was totally asleep. And I pulled out my Hawaiian shirt, and so now I know I can never close that other side because she's been trapped before. That exact scenario has happened a million times. She shows up in the pantry. She shows up in the she's been everywhere. That's, her name. She's like fearless and she does crazy things. So, had I ever closed that other side, then she's in there and I wonder where she is. And then finally she, starts meowing. But so I found her hideout. I got a new shirt and I found her hideout. So that was my exciting morning. Let's see. Let's just check in with everybody. Barb, are you driving or you're somewhere in a black hole?
I'm here trying to figure out how to get you onto my computer rather than my cell phone.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you keep going with that. And let's see. There's a 404-6307-334. So I'm not sure who that is. Is that you, Joanne? Are you here twice? Maybe not.
No. Can you
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
No, not me.
Call me
Hey!
JoJo. Call me JoJo to decipher
To distinguish you? Okay, Jojo. So tell us, so you figured it out. How's your week going?
It's going fine. Not too many issues.
Good. Well, that's good. That's always better than the alternative.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't think Molly's here. Molly's still trying to get a new computer. So I don't think that's Molly, but that could be Molly. Is that you, Molly? The phone number? A mystery person. Well, welcome. If you can unmute, say hi to us. Feel free to interject. So let's see, I have a few more stories for you all. So last night I went to a concert, and it was a concert really close by. It was really less than a mile from my house, and it was outdoor, and the weather was beautiful, and you got to sit on the grass, and you were away from people. So it was, a safe concert, and it was somebody really popular, and I was so surprised that I don't think they promoted this tour, but that person should have been at Red Rocks because, they're really popular. So it was Melissa Etheridge, who plays guitar and sings, and I don't know, for some reason she wasn't at Red Rocks, and probably a lot of people didn't know about it, but it was an amazing concert, and it was really cool, and I actually have it on video, and I probably can't put it on YouTube because of copyright, but I might be able to, sometimes when I post things and I post them unlisted, they don't check some of that stuff, because they actually have these things where they recognize music, and, if you have 15 seconds of something it recognizes, it kicks you out and you lose your audio. So anyway, I will try to post it, but the last song, and I was hoping she would do this song, it was like the one I wanted, was the encore. It went on for 12 minutes, and in the middle of it, she actually joined the drummer, and they did a drum solo together, and it was cool. It was really cool, and she actually could play, and they had coordinated it. It was really well coordinated so that it wasn't just random, like they were fitting together. And at one point she's on this side and they're like really close together doing all this stuff, and luckily they weren't whacking hands, but they were doing stuff where they could have whacked each other, and I'm sure in practice they probably did. And then she'd come over to the other side and she'd be over here, and they had it very well choreographed. But it was an excellent way to end the show. So that was just really exciting from a drumming perspective. As far as the drummer, this is the other interesting thing. Instead of having, this huge stage with, a huge drum set, and I mean, she's been touring for a million years. So like, they had 4 people and minimal stuff, and still were able to bring it, so it's the point that you don't need all these toys. The drummer was playing a 3-piece. He only had a snare, and it was a jazz drum set, and he's playing pretty heavy rock and roll stuff, but he had a little jazz drum set, and he was back there just doing his job the whole time. He wasn't fancy, but you could tell he could play, and he was probably holding back. But in that scenario, that's what you do. You don't want to overplay. But when he got to the drum solo, he got to show off a little bit. So that was kind of fun that he finally got to cut loose, because the rest of the time he was just doing his job, just doing what the song wanted, staying out the way, because you're a side person and you're not the main event, and you don't want to be doing fills all over everybody's vocals and guitar riffs and everything else. So they just were it was nice to see. It was a perfect example of how you can make amazing music with very minimal stuff, down to like a bucket. If you have a bucket and you're a good player, you can make music out of it. So it was just really cool and refreshing to see that they didn't have to have a bunch of bells and whistles. And I'm sure over the years, you get tired of dragging all that stuff around. Who wants to like drag all that around and set it up? And it was even cool. They had a couple of technical difficulties with the guitar pedals, because of guitars. Players always have like this little panel of pedals that they can press on and change the different sounds and everything. And I mean, I'm not a guitar player, but I know that she changed guitars every single song, and I wish I would have counted, but I mean, there was a turquoise guitar and a black guitar, and I mean, her guitar tech was really busy, because every single song he'd come out, they'd have a new guitar, and it'd have to have a new setting. It sounded different every song, which was cool. And at one point, she ran into technical difficulties, and he was trying to fix it and everything, but she was able to the music kept going, and she was able to just talk, and she used that time while he was fumbling to talk about and promote like her next thing, and that was totally spontaneous and unplanned, and just the mark of a true professional, because like when you have everything planned and you're live, something's going to go wrong, and you could panic and make it look goofy, but she made it funny, didn't embarrass the guy. They got it fixed. It was just, again, just somebody who can just on the fly, when you've been doing it long enough, just were able to just roll with it. No big deal. Nobody was freaking out. In fact, it was kind of cool, because it was nice to see that. And they were just, the rest of the band too, was just like, okay, we'll just keep playing what we're playing until it's time to, when it's fixed, we'll go on. You could tell they were communicating with each other. Subtly, sometimes it was just a look, and then the end would happen or whatever. So just kind of fun, stuff to notice. So it's always fun to see live music and to kind of critique it. And it's nice when it's in a small venue, because you feel included. When you're in a stadium, you just don't pick up on all that stuff. And it's so choreographed. It's like they push a button and everybody plays along with something, and it just loses the human feel, Sometimes perfect isn't best, Sometimes it's just be a human and do the best you can. And that's really cool. So that was my drum wisdom for the week. That was kind of fun. Um, and let's see, the other exciting thing this week was we made a trip to the ER. So that was not what we planned. So, yeah, I've got to call the paramedics at 3 a.m. and go spend 11 hours ruling out a bowel obstruction. But the good news was we didn't have bowel obstruction, and we got an abdominal CT because we'd been worried about something going on for a while, and now we know everything's fine. And so that was kind of exciting. So we got our blood work done, and, I didn't have to lift anybody out of the house. The paramedics came in, and so anyway, that was exciting and turned out good. So we had a happy ending. Let's see. I sent you all a couple of things. Well, first, I want to tell you I do pay attention to what we talk about. I did angle my camera down so you can see my two other drums here. So that's kind of cool. I do have the ladder down here to get up and fix the GoPro. It's at least the ladder made it down here. And so I'm getting closer to fixing that crazy thing. But it's a major ordeal. So I have to tell you a story about the ladder. So yesterday morning, all of a sudden, the smoke alarm goes off, and it's piercing loud. And of course, I've got 3 cats, and everybody takes off, and I'm running around like I got to run downstairs, check the furnace, run everywhere because, like it could be a fire. And so I'm running everywhere to figure out where it's coming from and make sure everything's okay. And we just got up, and so you're just half asleep anyway. So I'm running around, and I found out it was where I started. It was in the master bedroom where my mom was, and she's like holding her ears, and I'm like, I'll be right back, and I'm running all over. So I come back, and it's right there, and it's going and going and going. So I run to get the ladder, which is downstairs, and I run the ladder upstairs and get up there, and I'm trying to just, undo the smoke alarm. It's just supposed to go like that, right? You just maybe it needs a battery, let's just unscrew the thing and take the battery out and get a new one, and we'll all be happy. No, it's like totally locked in place. And so now I'm like, okay, I need a screwdriver. Okay, so you got to run to the garage. Meanwhile, the cats are running everywhere. My mom's like holding her ears, make it stop. So I go and get the screwdriver, and I'm trying to, I'm like, I got to tear this thing off the wall because it's not coming, like I thought I could just pry it off. No, it's not going to come off that easy. So I finally get it off, and then I'm like, let me just get the battery out, little lithium battery. Let me just get the screwdriver in there, just pop it out, and maybe it'll stop, and then I can go buy a new one. We'll all be happy. No, so I go in with the screwdriver and try to pop it out, and I break it, and it's still squealing, and so I finally got it off the wall and unplugged it. So that was like a 15-minute ordeal. So after that, I was like, I'm not trudging that ladder. I'm taking it back downstairs, but I'm not going back up on a ladder for a while. So that was exciting, too. It's just never a dull moment. I'm sure you all have. You just have to laugh about it, right? And just go on, because otherwise you're just like, ah. But I will have the GoPro fixed, and I did angle the camera down, and I did send out the fun videos. So I wanted to see if you all liked the pontoon playing and all of that. Any comments?
Tell us about the bus.
Oh, the bus. Yeah, that's right. I
On the
sent the
bus.
bus one. So the bus one was in New Zealand, and I have a couple of those bus videos. So they knew I went on a tour. It was a small tour with an adventure group, and there were 15 people on this tour, and they were all English speakers. So we had people from the UK, the United States, Canada, and Australia. And with 15 people, that's a pretty nice mix of culture and country and all that. And this was like 2 weeks in New Zealand where we hiked and kayaked and backpacked. So it wasn't looking at museums. I mean, we were out in the woods and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of adventure. But there was some time where we were on the bus and going to our next destination to do our next activity. And I had, those hot sticks, which are bundle sticks that don't hurt anything. I had them with me, and we'd talked about that I was a drummer or whatever. And, people get bored on the bus, and our bus driver was really cool. He would be a DJ and say, what do y'all want to hear? And they put on music and just to kind of keep us awake because, you're just going on these hills and you're going back and forth on the bus. And so every now and then he'd put some music on. Well, we got stopped one time really long. I think it was, believe it or not, it was like a sheep crossing or something. So there's like all these sheep, like 100 sheep that are crossing the road. And it was either that or we were in the city. But we got stranded. We were sitting there for a long time, and people are like, Karen, can will you entertain us? Or I can't remember how it happened. And so I get my little bundle sticks out, and he cranks up the music, and I just start playing the bus. And so I was, and then these two girls had water bottles, and so they're holding them up for me, and so I'm playing the water bottles and playing on the up above, and so then that became the thing. So like every time they would just call out, anytime they were bored or we were somewhere, all of a sudden the driver would turn up the music and they're like, Karen, Karen, Karen. And so I'd get out and play the bus. And so that was fun. And I played a boat. We got on a boat one night. We got to spend the night on a boat. And they had like a room where everybody could congregate and have cocktail time or appetizer. Well, it's where we ate, It was kind of like you have your rooms to sleep, and then they have this one room where everybody can congregate. And I think after dinner, we had like a little dance party, where they cranked up the music. And so I got to play the boat. I don't think anybody took a video of that one, but anyway, it's come in handy. It's kind of fun to be able to just. I've played a motorhome, the outside of an RV, and I've played a wood burning stove in a cabin, and I think I've played about everything. I've played churches. I've played rooms where I've run around an entire room and played everything in sight. Chairs, floors, people. So I have to find you that video. That reminded me, I was looking for the video of the guy playing the baby. So that's something I haven't done. I don't know that I'm going to do that. But I am going to find the guy who played the baby. And he played well. That baby sounded great. The baby had like different pitches and everything. So I'll have to send you that. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions or comments or requests or suggestions? Everybody's happy? Oh, before I forget, look who's sitting over here. I promised
I saw
you.
him. I saw him sitting there.
Well, guess what he's got on? Remember we talked about these superheroes. So last week he was Batman.
Now he's
Guess
Spider-Man.
who he is? Spider-Man this week.
Oh, Spider-Man.
And next week I'll have a different outfit because I have all kinds of outfits. But we'll go through the superheroes first. He probably needs some kind of Spider-Man thing around here. I don't know. But anyway, he dressed up for y'all, and he matches my red. And
very good.
and this actually, somebody brought it back, so it's actually authentic. It came from Hawaii. Most of my shirts don't come from Hawaii, but this one did. And I have to tell you, I have an order for some shirts, and they're coming. And when they do, we're going to have 4 new shirts. So, hey, if you don't even like drumming, it's worth coming back just to see what the Bear's wearing and what I'm wearing, because they're going to be good ones. I hope they're going to be good ones. So we'll see. That's pretty exciting. Okay, so I sent you the food stuff. Did I actually send you the food song? It's like a sheet. No. Okay. I'm going to actually pull it up. I don't think it's going to be too terrible to do. We can also do the Bucket Bonanza if we want to. We can do whatever you all would like. Let's see. I have it all ready here. It's at the bottom. Where's it at?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're talking about things that happen during a performance. What do you do when you do something like drop or break a drumstick?
You just keep going, and you always are prepared. So you always have, I always put 2 drumsticks or at least one on my bass drum. If I'm playing an acoustic drum set, I always have one that's, on the top of the bass drum, there's these lugs, and it sits really nicely. Also, now they have really nice, and I have several of them too. They have Velcro, and they go on your floor tom, and you have spare sticks in there. Same thing when you're marching. There's these little, I've got one right over there that you have your sticks in, so you can just easily pull one out and pull one back. And the idea is just to keep going. And I think actually I sent you maybe a while back my holiday where I'm wearing the Santa hat. And I didn't drop the stick, but the Santa hat fell, I think the Santa hat fell in my lap, and I just got rid of it and kept on going. And actually I laughed. So, I think that's the biggest thing is like if you either A, pretend like nothing happened and just keep going, B, laugh about it. What you don't want to do is look mortified, because then the audience feels that. The audience actually wants you to succeed. Same thing with when you're watching like an Olympian doing some kind of like ice skating trick. People aren't like sitting at home going, gosh, I hope they fall. They're like, you're on an edge. I see them jump up in the air, and I'm just like helping them, like, oh, can I help you land? The audience wants you to succeed. And so if you can just cover it in a professional way to make them feel okay, you recovered, and it helps you too. So like either laugh about it, probably not going to laugh in the Olympics. You're just going to go on and make sure you do better on the next one. Don't let it throw you. And so, but the worst thing that you can do is make a face, because sometimes people don't know you even made a mistake in the first place, and now you just drew attention to it. So like, don't make faces, just blank face. Or just look happy. Sometimes smile, just like, hey, I wanted that to happen. Yeah, that was planned. Because that reassures your audience too that like, I'm okay, because they actually are worried about you, and that makes your audience really uncomfortable. So I think just anytime you can cover it, or make a joke about it and just be comfortable about it. If you're comfortable about it, they'll be comfortable about it. But if you look all scared, then everybody's on edge now, and nobody enjoys what's going on. So, and it happens. You break sticks, you drop sticks, things happen. Your cymbal falls over in the middle of a performance. I've had that happen. Like I think I was in junior high, and that's another thing. Before any gig, I always check all my stands, especially if I didn't set them up. And that's why I never let anybody help me. Don't help me. I like it a certain way because, good, well-meaning people come and help you, and they set it up and they don't maybe tighten something, and then you hit it and it falls over, So it's always good to go around and check anything that you put together. I like to do myself, and I like to break down myself, because people, again, well-meaning people, like, take things apart, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, what did they do? Like, it's broken now. I have to like repair this. They're just trying to help you, but they don't know what they're doing. So, yeah, it happens. In junior high, I was playing in I think it was stage band, because we had a drum set, and I think I went to hit the cymbal, and this part up here wasn't secure. Nobody did it on purpose. It was just, we're kids and we don't know what we're doing, and they didn't tighten it. I was good about tightening it because I knew. But other people who maybe didn't play drum set or know that much helped. Probably the clarinet people came out and were helping the drummers, and not to blame the clarinet people, but, so they come out and, think that they did it for you, and you hit it, and all of a sudden the cymbal just falls off on the ground in the middle of the song, and you just kind of do and hope that somebody else will come and help you out, like your buddy. There's usually 2 drummers in the stage band, and you take turns, and so they can come and or your bass drum falls apart, and you're like looking at them panicking, so they climb down and fix it for you, and all that kind of stuff. All right, well, let's see. I'm going to pull up this, and let's get us playing. Enough talking, although I think stories are sometimes more fun than trying to do some of this crazy stuff. But here it is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now that I know where that is. My crazy, messy screen with all kinds of stuff on it. All right, so this is a song. Hopefully you can see it, and I can send it to you if you would like this week. I think I can make it even bigger. Let's see if I can make it really big. I think that's about as big. Maybe one more. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay, so it's a song, but it's of the things that we've kind of talked about. Let's see, I'm going to hide this bar out of the way. Okay, so let's kind of go through a little bit of this. And this is a doable song. It's doable for somebody who's just starting out. And so basically, if you think about words, they have a natural rhythm to them. So cinnamon, oatmeal. Okay, so it's kind of like cinnamon, oatmeal. Let's see, I might have to mute somebody there. Okay. So I would suggest, instead of going alternated, which is how that would be played, is I would do all of the cinnamon on one hand. So for instance, I would pick, maybe your right hand would be cinnamon, and then let's do the left hand, oatmeal. Now in real life we wouldn't play it that way, we would alternate it, but I think in the beginning it's confusing. So we'll just take that first little grouping, and that's going to be our right hand, and it's going to be cinnamon. And then this whole grouping here is going to be oatmeal. So it would sound like this. Cinnamon, oatmeal, cinnamon, oatmeal is how that would go. So that's not too terrible. And then we do that 3 times, and then we get to our avocado toast. Now avocado is same as pepperoni, it's 4 things, I would suggest that we alternate that. So it would be like avocado, and then we get a toast. Avocado toast. All in a row. So let's try this whole measure that way. And so feel free to play whatever you got, and let's just play it. And then actually, not only are we going to play the whole line once, we're going to repeat it. So we're going to do it 2 times. Let's try it. About like da 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 dun dun. 1, 2, here we go. Cinnamon, oatmeal, cinnamon, oatmeal, cinnamon, oatmeal, avocado toast again. Cinnamon, oatmeal, cinnamon, oatmeal, cinnamon, oatmeal, avocado toast. So don't let the notation freak you out. If that freaks you out, don't even look at it. Just memorize it in your head, the little ditty, the little song. Hum it in your head, da 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 da. Cinnamon. You can sing it out loud if you want to. So some people are auditory. If I sing it, they can play it. If they look at it, other people are visual. If they look at it, they can play it. Some people have different combinations of things. I like to see it. We've talked about that before. You can sing it to me all day long, especially if it's complicated. If it's easy, I can do it. But something like this, I could do it. But if it's something really complicated and you're singing it, just write it out for me, and then I got it first time. There's no question. So I like to see it, but other people don't. Everybody learns differently. So now we're going to switch it around. You notice that these notes, there was like 2 of them that had 2 lines, and then the one that has 1 line. You go down here, it's just the opposite. So without getting into a big discussion about it, just know the one that has the 1 line lasts longer, okay? And so the straw is going to be longer than the berry. So it's going to go strawberry. So the straw gets to be longer. Just like the cinnamon was long, now the straw gets to be the long one. All right, so if you just keep it like that, that's good enough for now. And again, I would say this whole part can be on one hand for now. So let's pick, I'm a righty. I like my right hand. So strawberry. So it's long, short. And then we've got ice cream over here is the same as oatmeal. We could say oatmeal if we want, but let's make it fun. Nobody wants strawberry oatmeal, I don't think. Well, I guess you could. But we're just going to go strawberry oatmeal, strawberry oatmeal. And we're going to do that 3 times, and then our same old avocado toast. It's just a nice way to end the phrase, and we get to repeat it all again. So let's try this one. Maybe a tad slower. About like strawberry oatmeal. 1, 2, here we go. Strawberry oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal. Avocado toast. Again. Strawberry oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal. Strawberry oatmeal. Avocado toast. Okay, hopefully this is going okay for people. And then the last one. Now this one is actually not correct musically, but don't worry about it. So we're just going to play it like tater tot casserole. So, and I would alternate this one. So it'd be like tater tot casserole. So the tot and the roll are a little longer, but not as long. They're longer than the straw and the mon would be. Okay, so it's basically going to be tater tot casserole. These are the ones that I talked about last week. That was like ta. You know, I remember that in first grade, and I was just like, what? You know, thank goodness I like learned what they're really called. You know, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. The ta-tas were not my favorite way to sing things. But anyway, I guess for little kids, you got to do something. So, by the way, I mean, I've taught quite a number of little kids. I don't teach kids too much anymore, but when I was teaching a lot, when I had like 30 students and a wait list of 30, they were almost all kids. I only had a couple of adults, and I probably have taught 25 or 30 kids to read music before they could write their name. So that's pretty cool. And they pick it up and they get it, you know. So like they knew how to read music, basic music, not really complicated hard stuff, but basic music, before they were learning their alphabet, but they didn't know how to like really read or write, you know. So that's kind of neat, you know, like the younger people are sometimes, they're pretty receptive to that, but at any age, you still can do it, and I think a lot of people are afraid of it. Even musicians are afraid of it. Like, they don't read music, and it's like, it's just opens up so many more ideas, and it's just so much easier and faster. It's like if you were to learn a language, but you don't know how to read or write it. You know, you can speak it, and you can get around town and order on the menu, but when you can read and write it, it opens up a whole new thing and it's a whole different thing, you know. So you understand it, I think, a whole lot better. That's not to say you couldn't get by, you know, there's a lot of languages in the world that aren't written down, or not a lot. There's a few that there's no notation. It's only verbally learned and propagated. So, you know, through generations, it's going to lose something or change, you know, it's going to alter. Whereas when it's written, it lasts forever. So that's kind of interesting. Off topic, but hey, music is a language. So let's do tater tot casserole. We're going to do that 3 times and an avocado toast. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Tater tot casserole. Tater tot casserole. Tater tot casserole. Avocado toast. And we would repeat. So the big thing is, can we turn this into a song and play it all the way down, or at least follow along? If you don't want to do it, just clap your hands, you know, or sing it. You know, you don't have to play it. You can sing it, whatever you want to do. So, but it's not too far. You can do this, you know? It's not too bad. Let's do it. 1, 2, here we go. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Avocado toast. Repeat. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Cinnamon, oatmeal. Avocado toast. Strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream. Avocado toast. Repeat. Strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream. Strawberry berry ice cream, avocado toast. Here we go. Tater tot casserole, tater tot casserole, tater tot casserole, avocado toast. Repeat. Tater tot casserole, tater tot casserole, tater tot casserole, avocado toast. How did it go? Woohoo! All right. I see mostly smiles. Anything tricky? Anything not make sense? How is it just getting coordinated? Anybody have any comments? Did it get easier? I think Colleen's looking for the unmute button.
You have to think about it. Right now, I'm like really trying to think about it. So, but it's coming along as long as I go slowly.
Yes.
So,
you do have to think about it. I know everybody thinks the drummer's back there just wonking away, like just brain dead, just, bashing, right? And it's like, we actually think. We actually have to count. It's hard, and then you got a click track in your ear going click, 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 and you're trying to, keep everybody together. But the good news is repetition, repetition, repetition makes it easier. So like if you did this all the time, you wouldn't even have to look at it. You just know it. And it's just like anything you do in life, the first time you do it, it's always hard. And it gets easier every single time, like when you rode a bike, it was really hard and you fell and everything. And now you could probably, maybe if you ride bikes, get on and not have to think so hard about it. So everything is like that. And so, and the thing is just, we've kind of talked about this before in the past, is be willing to fail. Because, if you just try it and it doesn't work and you give up, how sad, you'll never get anywhere in life in anything. So like you have to persist. Try it again. Can I make it better? Don't get frustrated. Just fix one thing. What's one thing I can fix? And fix it. Then the next time, what do I fix now? I have to fix something else and not undo that thing that I fixed already. Keep it consistent that I fixed it forever, that it's not going to wax and wane. Sometimes I do it and sometimes not. And, all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, this is not so bad. I need to do something else because, it's not challenging anymore. And it's always like that, growing and growing and growing and getting better. And I think a lot of people don't. They learn a couple, especially drummers, they learn a couple beats and they're like, okay, I'm good. I got this, And then guess what? They play that same thing to every single song in the world. Oh my gosh. And the same fills. They got 2 fills they can do and 1 beat they can do. And yeah, you can get a lot of miles out of it, but it is so incredibly boring for the listener and for the person. So at least if you can just, okay, I've got that beat. Let me just alter the bass drum a tiny bit. And then, okay, now I'm going to alter the snare just a little bit. Now I'm going to do a different fill. Do maybe the same fill, but I'm going to go backwards with it or something. Anything. And then you're building your repertoire. And then when you need it, you can just say, oh, this fill would be perfect here. And after a while, it becomes spontaneous. You don't even have to think ahead. You just know. And even if you've never even heard the song before, you can feel it. What's happening? A fill's coming. Get ready. I'm ready for the fill. Okay, I'm going to do this fill. You don't even think. You don't have to think so much. It's like having a conversation with a person. Like, you might have an outline of like, okay, I want to tell them about what I did on the weekend, but I don't know every word that I'm going to say in the exact order. I'm telling it spontaneously, even though I want to hit that point and that point, and it's exactly the same when you're playing drums anyway. So you pretty much have an idea, the framework of what's going to happen, and then you don't want to be so pegged in that you have to play. Now, there are times, like if you're playing for a musical and you've got music and your triangle beater has to be on measure 100, count 3, you better put it there. So there are times where it has to be exact, but there are also times where you can be a little more free. So repetition is the key. Practice. It's always like a miracle when a student comes in and I'm like, what did you do this week? Like, that went really well. They go, oh, I practiced. And I'm like, oh, that's, yeah, good. Yeah. Or hey, that didn't go so well this week. What do you think you could do different next week? Like, what do you think would help you? Is there anything I could do to help you? Oh, well, I didn't really practice. Oh, okay. Well, maybe try it a little bit and let's see how it goes next week. It's just it's a miracle. It actually works. And that's with, let's say you're baking a cake. The first time it's a flop, you got to adjust the flour next time and maybe it'll be better. Okay, so let's see. Any questions about this one? I could send it to you if anybody's interested. I have several of these. Want to try one more? Just to see. I like that little food chart that I sent you because basically you can mix and match. Get my mouse to cooperate here. You can mix and match a lot of those common beats and make up your own little song. Those are some really, really common ones. And you can get a lot of miles out of that little food chart. Okay, I've got a mouse here and it's not letting me go to what I need to. Come on, go down there. Okay, here we go. Want to go to... all right. I think it closed it all the way out. Oh, goodness. Let me open it back up. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, I just have to share my screen again. I think. Hopefully it didn't close it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, technical issues. Gotta have at least one or more. Okay, let's see it. Hopefully it didn't go away. I don't want to have to go find it again. It might have closed it all the way down. Let's go back to the food chart because I do have that pulled up that we could just talk about. So I think I send this to you. The rhythm guide. Somebody else put this together. This is not mine, but it's a great idea. And I've used this a lot. I use different words. But just to go through these, if you were to just take these, print this out, and cut these little squares. You might want to print, 5 sheets of these if you have a printer. I don't know if you have a printer. It's a lot harder to do electronically to cut and paste, but that's what I did to create that little song. But you could actually print this, maybe 5 times and cut this into little squares and then just mix and match and throw them on and create a song. And it's nice to have some duplication. You don't just want to have willy-nilly this one and then that one and then this one and then that one and then this one and then that one because it's just not going to sound good. I kind of did 3 things and an end thing, 3 things and an end thing. You could do 2 things and 2 things, 2 things and 2 things. I'd have a little bit of repetition so it's just not like random, but if random's good to test yourself. Do I know these? Could I do this? But let's say you printed this out and cut it all into little bitty squares and then just laid the squares next to each other and created some kind of song and played along. And then, okay, that went pretty well. Let me mix and match and do it again. That would be a really great thing. By the end of that exercise, doing that a few times, you could create some pretty cool stuff because this is a lot of really common kinds of little rhythms and they're not undoable. And start simple. Maybe start off with, I'm only going to make a song with hot dog, grape soda, apple pie, and hot fudge sundae. And I'm going to mix and match them and just play it and see if I can do it. And then maybe even record myself because that's always good too. Record yourself and listen. Did I do what I think I did? Because sometimes you play something and you're like, oh yeah, I got that. And then somebody else, that's why it's good to have a teacher say, what about that note? Did you... what happened in this measure? Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you don't even know you're not doing it right. But anyway, these are a good starting place to just, and I would start with these 4 and then get a little more fancy with the avocado toast is pretty easy. The pepperoni pizza is easy. The tater tot casserole is pretty easy. I might in the beginning stay away from the strawberry and the these two can be a little bit more complicated, and so can the cinnamon oatmeal and the milk and cereal. But all the rest are pretty doable. And just mix and match and make a song. So I can send you a couple that I've made this week if people like doing this. I can send you a couple, or you could think about doing something like that, and it would be a good way to get to play some music. So the other thing I thought about doing, we have still a little bit of time. I know I sent you 73, and we talked about the Bucket Bonanza. It might be fun to pull up the Bucket Bonanza. I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at this one, or if you even want to do this sort of thing. The Bucket King, yeah, Bucket Bonanza. It's got three songs. The Bucket King. So this one is kind of fun, and I sent, I believe, the music. Did anybody get a chance to look at this, or? I've got the music right here, which I think we could pull it up and you could, yeah. Gotta get this down. We're in this measure. This one. This one. Okay, let's see if I can stop this now. Okay. Woo! Where's my... Hang on a minute. Sorry, I gotta stop it. It's going on to the next song. Where's my iTunes? Stop. Okay, let's go back here. Let me screen share again. So I think I might have sent that either last week or maybe the week before. But basically, it's a leader and two groups. Ba-ba-da-dum-bum. Ba-ba. Bum-ba-da-dum-bum. Ba-ba. Ba-da-da-da-dum-bum. Ba-da-da-da-dum-bum. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum-ba. And so you could kind of hear, you could hear this part, and then these two players have it bum-bum. And this is kind of strawberry da-dum. We didn't talk about that little thing, but you could just kind of memorize it. Dum-da-dum-ba-dum. And then bum-bum. And then here's our pepperoni pizza, or avocado pizza, I guess. And then you can see this is, they're playing it, together, and then the leader's playing with the other group together. So it's like there's some overlap where sometimes one person's playing, sometimes two people are playing. And then here we've got a click, click, and everybody's got boom, boom, bop. So what we're looking at is called a score. You can see all three parts, but you'd only be playing one part. So maybe I would be the leader, dum, da, dum, da, dum, and you all would go bum, bum, and then I would go bum, ba, dum, bum, bum, and then the red team, whoever they are, is going to play the first half of the measure with me, and then somebody who's on the blue team is going to play the second half with me, and then they've got clicks here and here, and then we've all got that. And then we go to the next line. And so this is where we've got the side of the bucket. We've got a right, right, left, right. So we're playing on a bucket. So there's the bucket sides and top. And so these rights are on the side of the bucket, and these lefts are on the left side of the bucket, and the dark ones are on top. So it would be like this. Right, 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 and then your hand switched. Left, right, left. And so that's what the leader's doing for two measures, this measure, and this means repeat the previous measure. So, and everybody else is just going click, 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 click. But then guess what happens? You actually have to do that too. The red team and the blue team are going to play with the leader. The same thing for two measures. So you still have to learn that boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, boom, boom, bop, boom. So that's kind of interesting and different. Not too terrible, not out of the question. And then this part, hey, we just did this. Strawberry ice cream, and then the red team echoes it. Strawberry ice cream. And then the leader, strawberry ice cream, then the blue, strawberry ice cream. It's like a call and response. Doom doo doo doom doom bum ba da dum bum boom ba da doom boom bum ba da dum bum. And then this is cool. I like this measure. Boom ba da boom boom. Boom, ba-da, boom, boom. We're splitting the figure, but the leader's just playing that part, and then the red team plays that, and then the leader, and then the blue team. So it goes doom, doo, doo, bop, bop, doom, doo, doo, bop, bop. And then everybody's got Doom, 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 getting louder, crescendo. So let's do this again, just to kind of follow along with your eyes, or if you want to play, pick a line, if you want to be red, if you want to be blue, if you want to just clap. But let's see if I can get the music to go back to the beginning. Gotta get my mouse. Second measure. Third measure. Fourth measure. Here we go. And that's the end. And they go on a little bit because they're only giving us the first song here. Okay, let me see if I can get it to stop again. Sorry. We can go on and do a little bit of the second tune. I gotta find my iTunes. Where is it? There it is. Okay, stop that. Okay. How did you all feel about that? Questions, comments, suggestions?
That went fine, except your camera is now off.
Oh no. Is it really? Okay.
Nice black screen.
Okay, hang on a second. I hope I don't lose you. Let me try something. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Let me know. Oh, now I see it. Yep, you're right. Okay, I'm going to try something. Hang on. Am I back? Am I back? Yes? Okay. Okay, good. Phew. Unplugged and plugged, that's always a scary thing. I don't have good internet. I'm in a basement and it's like a fortress down here. So it's like impenetrable, you know. I can barely get the phone down in here. So if my computer drops for a second, it freezes everything. Okay, so I wanted to check in with people and find out what you would like to do, you know, next week and in the future. So far, I have tried to find the baby and try to send... Did anybody work on anything today that wanted to do something that you put effort in and like, oh, we never got to what I spent all this time learning? Or do you like doing the food stuff? Or do you want to hear about a drummer? We've done Drummer of the Week, or people in the past have asked questions and I've put together a little PowerPoint. What do people want to learn about? You like my crazy stories? I got a lot of stories. But I don't want to spend the whole time talking. I want to get you engaged, playing. What do people like? What do people like or want to do more of or less of?
I like doing the team thing where, you know, you're the leader, and then we break into teams and things. That's really
Okay.
good. That's
Okay.
fun. And then I like hearing about other drummers too and things like that. So.
Okay. Yeah, and what I can do for some of the people who've joined us, I don't know, did I send you a list of our previous sessions, or I only sent you a couple of them?
A few, yeah.
Okay. I'm actually going to send you a whole list of like, the last 2 years worth of recordings, and I try to afterwards list what they are. But if you see like the name of a drummer, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but if you want to just watch the first probably 10 minutes, like I did one on Buddy Rich and one on Louis Bellson and I think Gene Krupa, and so like you could look at the list and say, oh, you know, Gene Krupa, let me just listen to the first little bit of that just to, you know, because those are I think those are really fun and educational. And so you can kind of look at the list, and if there's somebody you recognize, or even if there isn't, if you see a name, that's a drummer. And I can go back and revisit some of those, or I can actually pull up some new drummers for all of us. If people like that, I can do Drummer of the Week next week of somebody new, so that you don't have to look at old stuff. You could get a new guy or a new girl, or we've even done some kids who've been amazing players. So maybe I'll do a Drummer of the Week for next time, just because we haven't done that for a while. We probably could learn about a new drummer. So drummer of the week. What else? Other people.
Sometime if we ever get Molly back, we need to go back to Easy Triplet Blues and
Okay.
do triplets because that was fun. That was like an entire piece of music we got to play along with the triplets.
Okay. Good. And I think she's going to be back next week because I think she's got her computer. It's just a matter of working it out, is my understanding. Okay, Easy Triplet Blues, drummer of the week. And I can send the food songs for some of our newer folks just so we can. I want to make sure everybody's at different levels and everything. So we'll do that as a warm up. Maybe that'll be our warm up, and then we can go into the Easy Triplet Blues or something like that. That way everybody can get kind of something and get caught up a little bit. Other suggestions? Barb, did you notice I moved the camera down just for you?
Yes, but I still can't see the drums, the tops of them.
Yeah, you can see the side. So you've got like the 4 drums here.
Yeah.
And I was talking about getting my ladder. Every week I have to climb up on that crazy ladder. I wish my GoPro would be a little bit more, it's pretty amazing. I can tell it to turn on and off, but I can't tell it to clear its memory, and I try to do it on my phone. Anyway, I'm working on it, so I don't have to climb up the ladder every single time, but I might have to. But I will get that for next time.
Could we do something like if we're doing one of the beats, like Strawberry Shortcake or whatever, one of those, and then all of a sudden you fade in with some music that is in the background that goes with it. So we're playing to the music.
Sure. Yeah, we can do food songs to music, definitely. I think we're about ready to get cut off, so I just want to say have a great weekend. Send me emails if you have any additional things, and I'll see you hopefully next Friday.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Good one.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Okay.